back-to-back interviews. She's going to join us Sunday at 5:30 on the Sunday edition to give us, in hindsight, what happened at the debate coming up tomorrow night. Debra Medina running for the Republican primary that's coming up very, very soon. We put pressure on them, our great listeners, other people across the state. She's an in the Feder, and she's running against Kay Bailey Hutchinson and, of course, good old Rick Perry. We need her. She's surging in the polls. Debra, give us a report from inside the campaign. What's happening?
Well, we are doing debate prep today. I got into Dallas this morning, and the team is here. We're working to make sure our numbers and our data are good. I think that was one of the things that I've heard since the debate is, boy, you would answer a question. I'm able to answer those questions because I made the commitment to Texans that I was preparing to be our governor beginning in February when I started this race over a year ago. I'm continuing that work today. We've got lots of opportunity in Texas, lots of places where the bar has been really placed pretty low for excellence in government service. We're looking at raising that bar, making sure we're using the tax dollars that we're taking from moms and dads and business people across the state of Texas. We're using them frugally. We're using them wisely. We're going to use them transparently, and we're going to demand excellence in government service. I am looking forward to an opportunity to share that vision, talk with Texans tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
Well, I told the story of my grandmother. My mom was driving her to physical therapy last week, and she said, who are you going to vote for? And she said, Medina, because I like her straight talk and the fact that you are calling for getting rid of the property tax. You are calling for true freedom in this state. But I got a Twitter message from a listener. It's Oprah's Heart is the Twitter question. To the Real Alex Jones Twitter account. It says, can Debra Medina address the EO forming a Council of Governors and its implication to subverting posse comitatus? Obama signed that executive order. He says he's going to let 10 governors speak for the states. What are you going to do against the federal takeover of the states?
Well, we're going to stand real hard using nullification and interposition. The governor has unilateral authority on interposition. I hope to be able to create a good working relationship with the legislature to get them to nullify where they need to. But I believe that when we have a champion of the people in the governor's office, we will also see an attorney general who is more active in going to federal court and fighting against the overreach of the federal government. You'll see a governor who's instructing state agencies that they are only going to enforce state law. They are not going to be the puppet on the end of the strings of Washington, D.C., dancing whatever tune Washington decides to whistle today. We are going to make sure that Texas is regulating Texas and not Washington, D.C. Those two things happen through the executive branch of the government, and then if we work closely with the legislature, we should see them not just passing sovereignty resolutions that have the equivalent of saying, dirt's wet and the sky's blue, but passing law that has teeth in it to stop this overreach, this illegal federal action. These things are not federal laws. They're unconstitutional. They do not rise to the level of law. They are illegal federal action. They need to be stopped by state legislatures. Texas ought to be leading on that front.
What would your position be? There's open calls from Congress for Geithner to resign for criminal indictments. The Federal Reserve does come into Texas. What they do does affect Texas. We could have a state investigation. Ron Paul has said that could be one of the places against the banks and others would be grand juries. As governor, would you call for investigations of the private banking cartel?
Absolutely.
Now, shifting gears in the time we have with you, obviously you've seen the media make the point in the parallel that just like Brown took that Democratic seat in Massachusetts, the people of Texas are sick of big government, fake Republicans like Hutchinson and, of course, Perry, and that you surging in the polls, even if you don't win and you have a good chance, people get behind you right now and spread the word, that this is a message to other libertarians, constitutionalists in the Feders, true constitutionalists, that this race has national import, just like the situation in Massachusetts.
It absolutely has national import. Alex, we've got a lot of work to do. This is about more than just, showing up somewhere at a rally. You've got to go vote. And so many people say, oh, yeah, I'm voting, or, oh, yeah, I've voted, when in fact they did not vote. Please please make a list of people that you know that are supporting this campaign, and then go to your courthouse during the early voting period and look to see if those people have voted or not. And if they haven't voted, call them, make sure they get to the poll. We have got to vote. When we vote, we're going to win this race. We're not going to cause a runoff. We are going to win this race on March
Perry
2nd.
won the primary before with 500,000 votes. I mean, we've got a couple million Ron Paul supporters and true patriots in Texas.
But they've got to vote. And so many people say, yes, I will, and then it gets right down to the wire, and they do not vote. We've got to vote. We've got to hold one another accountable to
Tell folks Election Day, Deborah.
Vote.
Tell folks Election Day.
Early voting starts February 16th. It runs for 12 straight days, Monday through the following Friday, 2 weeks after, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the next Monday through Friday. Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock, early voting is over. Election Day is March 2nd from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Please do not wait until March 2nd. Go vote during that early voting period. You can vote at any polling location in your county. Go vote. Make sure your family votes. Make sure your neighbors vote. We'll win this race in Texas.